at Vibes. Today in this video we are going to learn about polynomials, the basic definitions especially. Let's start. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. So first of all, let's learn what is the meaning of polynomials. Polynomial is made up with two words, poly and nomial. Poly means many and nomial means terms. So polynomial is an algebraic expression with many terms. Okay, it has many terms. That is why it is called polynomial. So if you look at the mathematical definition of polynomials, then it is polynomials in one variable x is an algebraic expression of the form p of x is equal to a n xn plus a n minus 1 xn minus 1 plus so on up to a 2x square plus a1x plus a naught, where n is a non-negative integer or whole number. Non-negative integer means it is not negative. It can be 0 also, it can be positive also, but it cannot be negative. And a0, a1, a2, so on up to an minus 1 or an, they are all constants and they are also called the coefficient of x0, x1, x2, x3, so on up to xn. So each of an xn, an minus 1, xn minus 1 plus so on up to a1x, a naught, they are called the term of the polynomial px. Now what about exponents of polynomials? For any expression to be a polynomial, it is compulsory that its exponent or the degree should be a whole number. Its exponent or degree should be a whole number, otherwise it will not be a polynomial. Okay, next is, here are some of the examples of polynomials. So some examples of polynomials are given to you here, and if you want to check that is it a polynomial or not, and if yes, then what is the variable of the polynomial and why it is not a polynomial. So here goes the reasoning. For example, if I consider f of x as 3x raised to power 4 plus 2x squared minus 1, that in this question what will be the variable of this polynomial? X, because throughout we have x over here. Is it a polynomial or not? Answer is yes, it is a polynomial. Reason is the degrees or the exponent of x, they are whole numbers. See, here it is 4, here it is 2. So yes, it is a polynomial. In the next question, if you see, it is a polynomial and it has variable y, and the reason is that exponents are again whole numbers over here, 5 and 1, they are whole numbers. But if you see this question, qx, which is equal to x plus 1 over x, then it is not a polynomial. Okay, why? Because variable of this polynomial is x, and the reason that why it is not a polynomial, it is, if you look at this second term 1 over x, its degree is minus 1, but minus 1 is not a whole number, right? So that is why it will not be a whole number. Now next, under root x plus 2x square minus 1. We have to check that it is a polynomial or not. No, it will not be a polynomial, though its variable is x. But here in the first one, the exponent of x is 1 by 2, which is not a whole number. So we will say that no, the last one is also not a polynomial. See, the only basic condition is that you have to check that the exponents or the degree should be a whole number. That's it. If it is, then it is a polynomial. If it is not, then it is not a polynomial. Next is, you have to identify that which of them are polynomials. So this is a question for you. There are some expressions which are given to you and you have to find out whether these are polynomial or not. So first is 1 minus under root 5x. Check. I'm not going to tell you the answer right away. I'll wait for 2 seconds. I'll wait for say 10 seconds. Then I will let you know the answer. You find it out. What do you think will be polynomials? 1 minus root 5x. Second is b cube over 5 plus 2 by root 3b square plus 4b minus 1. Third is 2 3 over 2x raised to power minus 1 plus 7. Fourth is 1 over 5x. Fifth is 4. And sixth is x minus 1, x minus 2 over x. So which do you think? Which are the polynomials? Well, the correct answer is that fourth and sixth are not polynomials, and except that everything else is a polynomial. Okay. Next. Now, what do you mean by the degree of a polynomial? Well, degree of the polynomial is the highest power of the variable in any term. Okay, so the highest power of the variable in any term of the polynomial is called the degree of the polynomial. So if we consider f of x as a n xn plus a n x minus 1, so on up to a to x square plus so on up to a naught, then degree of this polynomial is n. Okay, because this is the highest power. For example, if we have another polynomial, say qx, which is 5x raised to power 6 plus 3x raised to power 4 plus 4, then the degree of this polynomial will be 6. Okay. Next is classification of polynomials. Now let's look at the classification or the types of polynomials. The first is zero polynomial. Well, the number 0 is called zero polynomial. The reason is it has all its coefficients 0. So if I want to express it in standard form, it can be written as p of x is equal to 0x square plus 0x plus 0. So basically 0 is called zero polynomial, and degree of a zero polynomial is not defined. Its degree is not defined. Okay. Next is constant polynomial. A polynomial p of x is equal to a x naught or p of x is equal to a, where a is not equal to 0, is called a constant polynomial. Okay, and it is always a monomial. What was monomial? Monomial is something which has only one term. Okay, monomial is which has something only one term. So constant polynomial, this is mathematical definition. Okay, if you want to understand that constant means what? Anything which whose value remains fixed. Okay, so that is called a constant polynomial. So 383, 65, 387 and all those constants, they are called constant polynomials. And what about degree of constant polynomial? Well, degree of constant polynomial is 0, because suppose now if you have a number 3, okay, suppose if you have number 3, so what is degree? Here we say that constant polynomial has degree 0. How? See, if I know that exponent of any number, if it is 0, then this answer is always 1. So I can write 3 as 3x naught or 3x raised to power 0. So what is the degree of this? 0. So that is why the degree of a constant polynomial is 0. Okay. So let us now look at another definition of. So this is another example. If p of x is equal to 4, then the degree of p of x is equal to 0, because I can write 4 as 4 into x raised to power 0. Next is linear polynomial. Now what do you mean by linear polynomial? Linear, if you remember, it is something which has some relation with 1. So polynomial of the form p of x is equal to ax plus b, where a and b are real numbers and a is not equal to 0, is called linear polynomial. Okay, it is called linear polynomial. So this is the standard form of linear polynomial, which is ax plus b. Now a linear polynomial, it can be a monomial also. It can have one terms, or binomial. It can have two terms also. Okay. See, constant polynomial is always monomial. It has only one term. And a linear polynomial can be monomial, can be binomial. It can have one term, it can have two terms. And the degree of a linear polynomial is always 1. So these are also some of the examples. It can be 4x, it can be 3 by 2x plus 1. Next is quadratic polynomial. So quadratic means 2, right? So here the degree will be 2. a polynomial of the form f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are real numbers and a is not equal to 0, is called a quadratic polynomial. Okay, and a quadratic polynomial, it can be a monomial, it can be binomial, and it can be trinomial. Here I am writing the standard definition of these polynomials. Okay, so basically a quadratic polynomial is a polynomial whose degree is 2. So here are some of the examples. 3 by 2 x square plus 1 and 9 by 5 x square. Here degree is 2, so they are quadratic polynomials. Next is cubic polynomials. A polynomial of the form f of x is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a, b, c, d are real numbers and a is not equal to 0 is called a cubic polynomial. Why a is not equal to 0? Because if a will be equal to 0, then it will become a quadratic polynomial. Same way in quadratic polynomial, we have written a is not equal to 0 because here if a is equal to 0, then it will become a linear polynomial. Okay, so in a quadratic polynomial is a polynomial in which the degree is 2, and a cubic polynomial is a polynomial in which the degree is 3. And quadratic polynomial can be monomial, binomial, and trinomial, and same way cubic polynomial can be monomial, binomial, trinomial, or multinomial. Means a cubic polynomial can have one term, two terms, three terms, or so many terms. Okay, so degree of the cubic polynomial is always 3, and here are some of the examples of cubic polynomials. It is 3 by 2x cube plus 1, 9 by 5x cube, 4x cube plus 3x square plus 4x plus 9. They all are cubic polynomials. They all are cubic polynomials. Okay. Next is biquadratic polynomial. So a polynomial of the form f of x is equal to ax raised to power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e, where a, b, c, d, e are real numbers and a is not equal to 0 is called a biquadratic polynomial. You remember quadratic means 2. Bi also means 2. So 2 2s are 4. So biquadratic means a polynomial which has degree 4. So degree of a biquadratic polynomial is 4. And some of the examples are 3x raised to power 4 minus 5x cube plus 3x squared plus 9x minus 7. So this is an example of a biquadratic polynomial. Zero of a polynomial. So what do you mean by that? Zero of a polynomial. Any value of x for which p of x becomes 0 is called a zero of the polynomial px. For example, p of x is equal to 2x minus 4. Okay, so what is 0? एक ऐसी की वैल्यू जिसको जब मैं किसी पॉलिनोमियल में पुट करूं तो वो आंसर पूरा पॉलिनोमियल 0 बन जाए. ओके, उसको हम बोलते हैं जीरो ऑफ अ पॉलिनोमियल. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई कंसीडर 2x minus 4 for real number x and at x is equal to 2, if you check, then 2 into 2 is 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. So here if I put the value 2, then p of x becomes 0. So that means x is equal to 2 is a 0 of f of x. Okay, so some of the important points are that a non-zero constant polynomial has no zero. एक ऐसा constant polynomial जो zero नहीं है उसका कोई zero नहीं होता. What does it mean? Constant polynomial has no zeros. Zero polynomial is also there, na? So non-zero constant polynomial means a constant polynomial, but I'm not considering zero here. Okay, so it has no zero. Every real number is a zero of the zero polynomial. Zero polynomial के कोई भी real number zero होता है. Okay, linear polynomial has unique, मतलब one and only one zero. Linear polynomial का सिर्फ एक ही zero बन सकता है. ओके, मतलब कोई एक ही ऐसी वैल्यू हो सकती है जिसपे पूरा पॉलिनोमियल का आंसर 0 आए. क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल के मैक्सिमम 2 जीरोस हो सकते हैं, मतलब ऐसी कि मैक्सिमम 2 ही वैल्यू हो सकती हैं जिनके लिए वो पॉलिनोमियल 0 बनता है. Every polynomial of degree can have at most n real zeros. So every polynomial of degree n can have at most n real zeros. Next is 0 may be a zero of a polynomial. किसी भी polynomial का 0 can be the number 0. Okay. So in this chapter polynomials, you also have factor theorem, which is very important, which states that let px be a polynomial of degree n greater than 1 and let a be any real number, then if p of a is equal to 0, मतलब अगर a कोई भी वैल्यू है उसको अगर मैं पॉलिनोमियल में पुट करूं और सारे पॉलिनोमियल का आंसर 0 बन जाए तो x माइनस ए इज अ फैक्टर ऑफ पी एक्स, तो x माइनस ए उसका फैक्टर होता है. ओके अगर कोई वैल्यू पुट करने से पॉलिनोमियल 0 बन जाता है तो इसका मतलब है x माइनस दैट नंबर इज अ फैक्टर ऑफ पी एक्स. और अगर ऐसा गिवन हो कि x माइनस ए इसका फैक्टर है तो इसका क्या मतलब होगा कि p ऑफ a इज 0. इसका मतलब a पुट करने से वो पॉलिनोमियल 0 बन जाएगा. So this is the statement of factor theorem which you have to learn. Alright. Next is, these are some of the important algebraic expressions and identities which you can learn. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this also and you can keep on learning afterwards, or you can pause the video and you can learn. Okay, these are different expressions and identities which are going to be helpful to you. Okay, so let's finish it off. Okay. Thank you so much for listening and all the very best. Keep on learning, keep on growing, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Bye. Take care.